this video, I want to show how we can create documents directly through a CLM API call and not ever have to leave Salesforce to do so. So here, this is a little different than what we're used to. In the prior videos on this channel, you'll see that I take the user to a new screen where there's a progress bar. Well, right here, we have the ability to see that our document has been generated in CLM. Now, this is a call from Salesforce in a flow using the HTTP callout. It's using an auth provider, named credentials, and an external credential to do all this. Now, what we could see here is it's not yet at a point where a human can interact with it. So one of the pluses of it being generated so quickly is, yes, you could take a look at it. But if you wanted to then make sure you can then start to route, you might have to wait because the workflow in CLM is doing a bunch of other things to get us to a point where we can then send this document for the various steps. So this is really cool. Let's go and do one more. We'll refresh this and it says we're in request or review. Everything else still functions. If you have Slack messages going on, if you've got the status as it changes from step to step inside CLM, none of that's different. What is different is just the initiation process. Again, enabling this to go through the API, and you don't have to have a toggle switch. This is just me playing around. But this will now make a call through Salesforce Flow. It allows me just to stay here and not have to go and see a progress bar. And as I said, the performance of seeing the document is quicker because the document does get generated first, but there still are a lot of other steps that take place in the CLM workflow. So in this instance, we'll just kind of take a look and we'll wait and hang out here until we see in request or review. And we should see that. Yep. So now that we have that, we can jump straight to our document. And of course, the tasks will be ready to go. Everything will load nicely for us, and we'll be able to move it through the workflow. So this is an example of how you can call via the CLM API document generation within CLM, kicking a workflow off. That's the workflow that has steps inside that workflow that does the document generation. I'm not calling an API that just generates a document. No, I'm calling a CLM workflow that has part of its steps for generating a document, as well as doing everything else in the other videos that show send Slack messages, keep things up to date here, etc. But this does not require then a custom e-form that has that progress bar on it. It requires no e-form. We can just go straight through it. So auth provider is being used here on the Salesforce side, named credentials being used, and external credential is being used for Salesforce integrating with Docusign CLM. Thanks.